this is a, you know, it's very simple what I have to share with you tonight, and yet very profound. Because I know in my own ministry that many times, like I travel in 10 countries of the world each year, and in those countries there's a lot of different kinds of people. But after I really came to know the Lord, that wasn't in the beginning when I gave my heart to Jesus, but when I really came to know the Lord, the first thing that Father told me to do was to rub out that line that I had drawn through humanity.
Yes.
That those on this side were all going to heaven, and those on that side are all going to that other place. That's what I believed.
Yes.
And the first thing when I really came into grips with God, into a reality of who I was in him, he said, you rub that line out.
That's right.
And never put it back.
That's right.
And that's what I've done. And I have been in Indonesia, which is a Muslim country. 90% of those people there are Muslims. The biggest Muslim country in the world in population. And I've had Christians say to me, I would like you to speak to, say, my uncle, as it was in some cases. But he's a Muslim. Is that okay? Yeah. I said, I don't care what he is. You know? And so I would go down with them and meet their uncle. And we would sit, the man would ask me to come in. His wife would make a cup of tea for me because I like tea and not so interested in the coffee and so on. And she'd make a cup of tea for me. And I sat there and I start chatting with this man. And I say, you know, I don't know whether you know this, but you're related to me. He said, I am? He said, I said, yeah, I'm related to you. I said, you know that in this world, there is only one Father. That God hath made of one, all the nations on the earth to dwell. Made out of the one. That one is not a numeral, it's not a number one. Because if there's a number one, there'll be a number two, and a number three, and a number four. Out of the one. That means the one out of which everything in this universe has come. That's God. There's only the one out of which everything has come.
Yes.
The dust included.
Yes, sir.
So, I said, you came out of that one. I came out of that one. He's my father. He's your father.
That's right.
He said, I like that. I said, good. I like it too. I said, let me go a bit further. Because we have the same father, I said, you're my brother. Yeah.
That's right.
He said, I like that too.
Yes, sir.
So we're getting along famously. This is a Muslim and a Christian. We're getting along fine. And so we had quite a little conversation. I never preached to him. I never told him he was, you know, wrong because he was a Muslim. I never told him, you know, that there was a place that he would go to where I wouldn't go. I would go to another place. I never told him any of that stuff at all. I just really just began to tell him some of the facts about the world and about the one that created all things.
Yes, sir.
And when we left, he said, Des, you can come back any time. I said, thank you. When I got back, that family almost abused me. You didn't preach to him. You didn't tell him about Jesus dying for him. You didn't ask him to become a Christian. You didn't tell him he's going to hell. I said, no, you can do that if you want. We are sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Yes.
Nobody else. If you meet anybody else, leave them alone and have nothing to do with them. Because you are not obligated to preach to them.
That's right.
Or minister to them. That means that everybody in this world is one of those sheep.
Yes.
There's only two kinds of sheep in God's estimation. There's those that have been found and those that are lost.
Yes.
And the ones that are found also that there is also a shepherd. And that there is also a sheepfold. where we find safety
Yes.
from everything that would seek to assail us. So tonight, God is showing us something. So Jacob became Israel. From him, the 12 tribes of the children of Israel were birthed through that man. Now Israel in the natural was only a kind of an analogy of the reality
Yes.
of God's people.
Yes.
So in Matthew chapter 10, just to go back here now, it says, "Go not to the way of the Gentiles," verse 5, "nor into the city of the Samaritans, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And as you go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand." Why shouldn't we go and tell them, you're a sinner? You need to get saved. You know, you violated God's law. No, they're already sheep.
Yes.
These sheep are the sheep of God's pasture. And those sheep are precious, every one of them, unto the Lord. Galatians chapter 3. Galatians chapter 3. And this is what it says. In verse 29, "And if you be Christ's, then you are Abraham's seed, and heirs according to the promise." Why? Because if you go back to Genesis, God said to Abraham, "Come on out of your tent and see if you can count the stars.